squares and square roots. So today we will look at what exactly a square root is and relate it to a square. So we know that a square is something to the second power. So if we took a list of the first 12 integers, we have, if we did 1 squared, we would get 1. If we did 2 squared, we would get 4. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared, 16. And on down. If we squared each of these, we can see what we are getting. 8 squared, 64, 9 squared, 81, 10 squared is 100, 11 squared is 121, and 12 squared is 144. The list goes on forever. So what we refer to, these are perfect squares, perfect squares. So now we are going to take these perfect squares and go backwards. We call that taking the square root. So if I said I wanted to take the square root of 1, that means what do I have to multiply by itself to get 1? So in this case, it is 1. If I said I wanted to take the square root of 4, it is 2, because 2 times 2 is 4. We are essentially going backwards. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 16 is 4. And on down the line. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 36 is 6. So we can see that goes on. As long as we have a perfect square, we can get a whole number here. Now we can also have the negative square root. This is called the primary square root, or I'm sorry, not primary, principal square root. We can also, if you put a negative sign out there, that would be the opposite of the square root of 1. Because we also know that negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. We can do this for each of those. Negative square root of 9 is 3. The negative square root of 16 is negative square root of 9 is negative 3. Okay. Sometimes they ask you for both the positive and the negative square root. And they may use plus minus square root of 1. That means they want you to list both the positive and the negative square roots. So if we just did one of these from down here, like say, what is the positive and negative square root of 49? That would be 7 and negative 7. So we can also solve expressions using square roots. We can do something to the effect of 3 square roots of 25 plus 4. So when you see a number outside the radical, the square root, it is multiplication. So this is essentially 3 times the square root of 25 plus 4. So what we do is we do things inside first. So the square root of 25 is 5. And we're just going to copy the rest down. Now we're going to use PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition, subtraction. So we have multiplication first, 15 plus 4, and then 19. One more concept to talk about with square roots is we can also do square roots of fractions too. So say we have the square root of 1/4. The square root of 1/4. What we do, when we have all of this under a square root, you're actually taking the square root of the numerator and the square root of the denominator. So we know the square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 4 is 2. So the square root of 1/4 is 1/2. If by chance we had the negative square root of 1/4. So what we'll do is we'll take the square root of this fraction and we will take the opposite of it. And that equals negative 1/2. And that is your introduction to square roots and perfect squares.